Have you ever wondered why she suddenly stops talking, blocks you, and vanishes, yet somehow still knows everything you're doing? You see her watching your stories from a fake account. Or she accidentally likes an old photo. Strange, right? That's because her silence isn't peace when it's a trap. When a woman goes silent, she's not always done with you. In fact, she's testing you. She wants to see how much power she still has without saying a single word. She's studying your reaction, your emotions, your energy, your next move. Her silence is her weapon, and your reaction is the battlefield. If you panic, reach out, or try to win her back, she wins. But if you stay calm, centered, and unbothered, something shifts in her psychology. The power flips, because a stoic man doesn't beg for attention. He commands respect through silence that's louder than her games. Let's break down exactly why her silence is a trap, and how you can escape it without losing your peace. The ego game. When a woman pulls away, it's often her ego that's driving the silence, not her heart. The ego whispers, make him miss you, make him chase you. It's not about moving on. It's about seeing if she still controls your emotions. In the modern dating world, attention is currency. Every message, every double text, every I miss you is a deposit into her emotional bank. When you stop giving her that, when you disappear without warning, it stings her ego. She wants to know, did he really stop caring? So she stays silent, not because she's indifferent, but because she wants to appear strong while secretly observing your every move. It's a psychological test. Most men fail because they chase the illusion of closure. But the stoic man, he understands that silence isn't rejection, it's reflection. He doesn't feed her ego with attention. He lets her ego starve until she realizes silence doesn't control him. And when that happens, she starts to wonder who really walked away with power. Her, or the man who refused to play her game. 2. The fear of losing control. Her silence isn't always confidence. Sometimes it's fear. Fear of losing emotional control. Deep down, she knows that by going quiet, she risks losing your attention completely. But she gambles anyway, hoping your emotions will break before hers. Women often use silence to trigger curiosity. They want you to spiral, to replay every conversation, to think, what did I do wrong? That's how they regain the upper hand, through your confusion. But here's the catch. If you remain emotionally disciplined, her silence turns on her, because what she fears most isn't your reaction, and it's your indifference. When you don't chase, when you stop posting desperate quotes, when your life moves forward without her, that silence becomes unbearable. She begins to feel invisible in the world she once ruled. A stoic man doesn't respond out of fear or pride. He lets silence reveal what's true. He knows that if something real exists, it doesn't vanish when words do. Silence only exposes who needs attention to feel valuable, and who's strong enough to create peace from absence. 3. The emotional pendulum. Emotions work like a pendulum. The more you chase, the further she swings away. The more you pull back, the closer she comes. Her silence is meant to push you into emotional chaos. But when you stay centered, the pendulum starts to swing in your direction. At first, she feels powerful. She tells her friends she's done. She posts quotes about healing, pretending she's over it. But inside, something stirs. The absence of your attention creates emotional withdrawal. Her brain, conditioned by your messages, your energy, your presence, starts craving the dopamine you once provided. This is where silence backfires. The more calm you remain, the more uncertain she becomes. Why isn't he reaching out? Has he moved on? Did he find someone else? That uncertainty begins to eat at her confidence. The stoic man doesn't play the emotional pendulum game. He doesn't chase when pulled. He doesn't react when pushed. He simply observes, because the less you react, the more control you gain, not over her, but over yourself. And that, ironically, is what makes her drawn back toward you. 4. The illusion of detachment. A woman's silence can look like strength, but often it's disguise. She may seem detached on the surface, but inside, her emotions are loud. She's replaying your words, your habits, your last message. She's checking if you've replaced her, just not publicly. Silence allows her to save face. It gives her the illusion of emotional maturity while hiding her uncertainty. But what she doesn't realize is that silence doesn't erase connection, it amplifies it. The more she suppresses, the louder her thoughts become. This is why you must not confuse her quietness with closure. It's not over until both hearts stop reacting, and most of the time hers still is. The stoic man doesn't chase validation in noise or quiet. He stays unmoved because he understands one timeless truth: people who genuinely don't care, don't play games. Silence isn't power. It's often confusion wearing confidence. So while she pretends she's detached, your peace becomes her mirror, one that reflects what she lost when she tried to win the game of silence. 5. The psychology of curiosity. The female mind thrives on emotional curiosity. When something feels unresolved, it becomes a mental loop. Her silence isn't meant to end things, it's meant to make you wonder. But when you don't chase, the loop turns inward. Now she's the one wondering. She begins asking herself questions she can't answer. Was I too cold? Did he really move on? Why hasn't he texted? This shift in curiosity is where attraction is reborn, not through begging, not through grand gestures, but through silence that holds strength. The stoic man understands that attention fuels the fire of uncertainty. The moment he stops feeding it, curiosity burns. Her instead, that's when she starts checking your stories again. That's when she suddenly texts something random like, "Hey, just saw this and thought of you." Her silence was meant to confuse you, but your calm turned it into her confusion. That's the paradox of emotional power. It always returns to the one who needs it least. 6. The Stoic advantage. The Stoics believed that peace comes not from controlling others, but from mastering oneself. In the modern dating world, that principle becomes your superpower. When a woman goes silent, she's seeking emotional reaction. But when you meet her silence with discipline, you communicate strength louder than any words could. A Stoic man doesn't chase validation. He commands it through stability. His calmness tells her, "I don't need your response to validate my worth." That's what makes him unforgettable. Because in a world where everyone reacts instantly, a man who stays grounded becomes magnetic. Silence, when mastered, becomes communication. It says, "I respect myself enough not to fight for attention." And ironically, that's what makes her pay attention again. Remember, her silence was never about the end. It was about power. And once you stop playing the game, you win it. 7. When her silence breaks. Eventually, her silence starts to crack. You'll notice it, a random text, a social media interaction, a sudden memory she brings up. That's not coincidence. That's her testing the waters. She wants to see if you're still emotionally available, if she can still trigger you. But here's where most men lose their progress. They jump back too soon. The Stoic man doesn't rush to respond. He observes. He lets her come forward, not out of loneliness, but realization. Because when silence breaks, it reveals truth. Not feelings, but lessons. You'll see who she really is when the silence ends. Was she genuine, or was it all control? Your calm detachment will tell you everything. Sometimes her silence ends with closure. Sometimes it ends with reconnection. But either way, you've already won. Because the lesson wasn't about her. It was about mastering yourself. Conclusion. Silence is a language, one that reveals who you are when words disappear. Most men fear it, but the Stoic man embraces it. Because in silence, truth speaks the loudest. Her silence may have been a trap, but it only works on the man who needs attention to feel powerful. You're not that man anymore. You've seen through the illusion. You've learned that peace is the greatest revenge, and emotional control is the rarest form of strength. So when she goes quiet again, don't chase. Don't react. Don't fall into the trap. Smile, because you now understand the game better than she ever did. And with that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.